Think about it. Every generation lives believing they are free, until one day they realize their entire life was trapped inside someone else's balance sheet. Today, I'm going to tell you a truth so unsettling that you might not sleep peacefully after hearing it. The United States currently owes $37 to $38 trillion, the largest debt any nation has ever carried in human history. And the most shocking part? They are not planning to repay it. They're planning to erase it, not by default, not by raising taxes, not by reducing spending, but by quietly stealing your purchasing power. This is not a conspiracy. This is policy. And the entire mechanism hides far away from your social media feed. The strategic revaluation of gold and Bitcoin. Those who fail to understand this pattern will lose up to 85% of their life savings. Those who do understand it will not only survive the 2027 reset, they will emerge stronger. Truth number one, the impossible math. A $37 trillion debt, while America's total GDP is only $28 trillion, meaning the debt is 132% of its total production, the most dangerous level since 1940. And here's an even bigger time bomb. They now spend $1.2 trillion every year just on interest, more than their entire defense budget. If interest rates rise, this burden could jump to $1.8 trillion. Every year, the government borrows around $2 trillion more than it earns, and most of that goes merely to pay interest on old debt. This is a classic death spiral, a Ponzi scheme. And history is clear. Debts like this are never repaid. They are inflated away. The easiest way, currency devaluation. Truth number two, the 1933 playbook. During the Great Depression, the U.S. faced the same situation. President FDR took a step that shocked the world. Gold was confiscated from American citizens. Everyone had to sell their gold to the government at $20.67 per ounce. And once the government collected the gold, within a year the price was raised to $35 per ounce. Overnight, a 69% increase. The government's balance sheet strengthened, the dollar weakened, and the national debt magically became lighter. This was the largest organized devaluation in history, paid for by ordinary citizens and savers. Truth number three, the 2027 reset. The same playbook is returning, but in a more sophisticated form. This time the tools are gold and Bitcoin. Gold revaluation, $20,000 per ounce. The U.S. holds 8,133 tons of gold, but on its books it's recorded at only $42.22 per ounce. If they suddenly revalue it to $20,000, the value of government gold reserves would jump from $11 billion to $5.2 trillion just by changing the price. That would shrink the real value of the $37 trillion debt down to roughly $5 trillion. That is the real objective. Now, Bitcoin. In 2025, President Trump signed an executive order to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. The government already holds 210,000 BTC. The target is 1 million BTC. And during the revaluation, Bitcoin would be pushed from $100,000 to $1 million per coin. When gold hits $20,000 and Bitcoin hits $1 million, the U.S. dollar will lose 85 to 87% of its purchasing power. That's the theft that will erase America's debt and melt your savings. Truth number four, the timeline. Historically, when economies enter this phase, a reset happens within 3 to 7 years. We entered stage 3 of this cycle in 2020, which means stage 6, the reset, can come around 2026 to 2027. And when it happens, those who will suffer the most are savers, lenders, and pensioners. If you have $100,000 saved today, after the reset, its real purchasing power will be equal to just $35,000. The government's debt will shrink, and your savings will evaporate. The final truth, the government will not come to save you. They will sacrifice your wealth to preserve their power. History is clear. Those who understand the pattern survive and prosper. If you want to escape this reset, you must move into assets that cannot be printed. Gold, which central banks are buying at record levels. Bitcoin, which governments are now accumulating as a strategic asset. In the next 18 months, this $37 trillion reset will unfold. And when it arrives, one thing will decide your fate. Will you be a victim or a winner? A winner who has cash, gold, and the courage to make the right decisions when fear is at its peak. The pattern is clear. The timeline is here. The decision is yours.